Well, I was a little pissed about a couple things.
Do you want to take legal action about this stuff? About this guy?
What, give more attention?
Okay, so no, Patriots, dude, all the way.
Hey, if you want to do something right, you got to work hard, baby.
I just feel like it's all a slippery slope, and I have a feeling that they're like pushers, like trying to take me to the dark side. Oh my God, like I said, it's like crack. Everywhere I go now, people will say, if you just did a little bit of this, it'll make a little bit of that go away. And then if you did a little bit of this, and I just feel like it's all a slippery slope.
Mark Wahlberg is venting his spleen, and the Hollywood elites are feeling the heat. The 53-year-old actor purportedly granted a private interview in which he spilled some serious beans. Now, the alleged full interview isn't out, but sources who have heard snippets of the said interview indicate that the Family Plan actor didn't hold anything back as he defended the honor of his close friend Halle Berry. So, what did the celebrated actor purportedly say this time? And how will it affect his career in Hollywood? I've got all the tea right here, so sit tight.
Oh my God, like I said, it's like crack. Everywhere I go now, people will say, if you just did a little bit of this, it'll make a little bit of that go away. And then if you did a little bit of this, and I just feel like it's all a slippery slope.
Actor Mark Wahlberg, in his usual style, has set the internet ablaze with huge bombs aimed at Hollywood's elite. The actor, who has gone quiet in recent times, purportedly shook the dust off his boots and kicked some elites in the derriere. The no-nonsense actor, in a no-holds-barred interview, called out some Hollywood execs for trying to off Halle Berry. His tirade comes on the back of his recent movie, The Union, where he starred alongside his friend and confidant, Halle Berry. The action comedy movie follows the lives of former high school sweethearts Mark and Halle, who reunite to retrieve a list of U.S. spies with stolen identities.
How often is it that you run into your high school sweetheart after 25 long years?
Spoiler alert. The movie portrays Mark as a protective ex-boyfriend who would do anything to keep Halle safe, even if he didn't have the requisite skills. Interestingly, this role appears to mirror their real-life relationship, where both actors seem to always look out for each other. Mark Wahlberg has taken the Hollywood elite to the cleaners in the past. He had always wanted to become a rapper, but he had to abandon the ship because certain characters in the music industry didn't want him there. Most of us know Eminem as the greatest white rapper of all time, but way before Eminem spit his first bars, Wahlberg, then known as Macky-Mack, was the
I'm the realest rapper ever. I'm the realest white rapper ever. Not to know that Eminem would come, shortly after.
His brother was part of the successful band New Kids on the Block, which initially featured Mark himself. Mark's popularity grew as he left the group and founded his own group, Macky-Mack and the Funky Bunch. They achieved relative success and even released their first video game, which was a flop. However, he ran into trouble when he made an innocuous statement in support of Shabba Ranks, who had hit out at the gay community. The elites who weren't enthused about Mark's image as a white rapper quickly capitalized on it and ran down his image. He was lambasted all over the news media, with people urged not to patronize his music. He almost took his life but found courage and relocated to Germany to resuscitate his career. Now, I bring all this up because it appears a similar thing is about to happen to Halle Berry. That was Halle Berry at the 2003 Oscars, where Adrien Brody kissed her impromptu on stage after he came up to collect his award. Many fans dubbed it the kiss of the Oscars for its spontaneity and charm. Critics and pundits alike joined in the fun as they applauded the two couple for basking in the glory of the moment. However, little did Halle Berry know that she would become the victim of the voracious Hollywood elite. The kiss that made the highlight reel for the following year's Oscars also nearly spelled doom for the actress, as she faced great backlash. Some fans claimed that the moment was scripted and that it was Berry's way of stealing Adrien Brody's time in the limelight. The criticisms got so intense that she had to deny them all in an interview.
What was going through your mind when Adrien Brody kissed you at the Oscars? Was that planned?
No, that was not planned. I knew nothing about it.
She explained that she just went with the flow and wasn't expecting anything from the actor. She had made a move to shake his hand, but Adrien, probably overcome with emotions for winning an award, couldn't help but plant the kiss on her lips. Of course, spurning his advance in the heat of the moment would have spoiled the night, so she went along with it. As for the trying to steal the spotlight narrative, Halle explained that it was all Adrien. She had absolutely nothing to do with it but to go through with the act. She had no intention of taking the shine away from Brody and his achievements, thus rubbishing the long-held view that she was a greedy brat who didn't want to share the spotlight. She even claimed that she felt nothing whatsoever when their lips momentarily locked in make-believe passion. In her mind, she was wondering what the F Brody was doing.
I was like, what the f is happening? Right now. That is what was going through my mind.
She didn't enjoy a single moment of the whole scene, though it appeared she was engulfed in the spectacle. She wondered why anyone would think that she enjoyed it or initiated it to steal Brody's shine. As the years went by, the whole brouhaha lost traction and died down until Halle spoke against how the industry was treating black actors. In an emotionally charged speech, the actress lambasted the Academy for always overlooking black actresses for the Best Actress Award at the Oscars. In 2002, Halle won an award for Best Actress in a Movie, and since then, it's been extremely difficult for another black actress to achieve the same feat. She explained that the whole issue left her heartbroken, and she wished she had the power to overturn the situation.
And I want to say, I've been saying it for the past 10 years, I feel heartbroken. I feel heartbroken that nobody stands next to me.
Hollywood appears to overlook black actresses for the most coveted award at the Oscars. Since Hattie McDaniel won it in 1940 for her role as a mammy in the 1939 movie Gone with the Wind, only about 10 women have attained that enviable height. Halle Berry is the latest to have achieved that enviable feat, and she did it in 2002 for her role in the 2001 movie Monsters Ball. Interestingly, almost every black actress that has won it has had to play a subservient role to a white person. Hattie herself won the award for portraying a slave in the movie, and since then, the Academy seems to have put black actresses in a mold. It's as if, to win the Best Actress award, black women needed to either play the role of a slave or servant to be considered. Halle Berry and about 1 or 2 women are the exceptions, but check the history books, and you'll be surprised. Halle knew the agenda against black actresses and spoke against it, but he had these words of encouragement for them.
But what I also want to say is, we should not covet awards. Awards do not define our worth.
She knew that the elites had put a structure in place that undermined the worth of black actresses. The structure ensured that the women played demeaning roles before their efforts, skills, and dedication were realized. The black woman had to play second fiddle to a white woman to warrant a place on the podium. So Halle Berry told them to look beyond awards because the golden plaques didn't define them. She reminded them that their talent, skill, and resilience were the things that defined who they were, and nobody could take from them. She assured them that the world sees their efforts and rewards them with deafening applauses. Thus, they shouldn't be too worried if the elites weren't recognizing their efforts. Instead, they should persevere in their quest to make the industry a better place for those who are coming after them.
And if nobody ever stands beside me, it doesn't mean that we are not worthy and that we are not doing the work.
The John Wick actor discouraged the black actresses from coveting the award scheme, which was allegedly skewed in favor of the white actresses. Instead, she encouraged them to look within and see themselves as the stars that they truly are. She crowned her speech by empowering women to go all out there and conquer Hollywood without fearing anyone. The elites may be powerful and probably use their resources to hamper their growth, but no one can stop them from shining.
That's what I want to say to you tonight. You're worthy. Keep up the good work, because we all see you.
This moving speech broke out throughout Hollywood, and all hell broke loose, albeit quietly. Fans could even feel the nervousness in the applause when Halle Berry delivered the speech. Many of her listeners were afraid of the possible repercussions, so the applause was barely audible. However, the ever-brave Berry went through with the speech and damned the consequences. She knew what she was baiting when she took the Academy to the cleaners, but she did it anyway. According to sources close to her, the elite started hounding Halle Berry. Roles became few and far between as she was often overlooked in favor of other actors who wouldn't dare speak up against the tyranny of the elite. However, that didn't deter the John Wick actress, as she took another aim at Hollywood when she said this.
Oh my God, like I said, it's like crack. Everywhere I go now, people will say, if you just did a little bit of this, it'll make a little bit of that go away. And then if you did a little bit of this, and I just feel like it's all a slippery slope.
Halle Berry was throwing jabs at the elite for pushing plastic surgery on women in Hollywood. She explained that in her experience, people were always recommending she change a part of her body or enhance another part to look more attractive, especially since she's aging. The beautiful actress, who was and probably is still one of the top actresses in Hollywood, is aging, and the signs are visible. However, she wouldn't hear the last of it, as the elite had impressed plastic surgery on the minds of the women so much that everywhere she turned, she was advised to undergo the knife to correct an anomaly. She blasted the elites for pushing that agenda and advised women to accept and love their bodies. Berry explained that aging was part of the life cycle, which was impossible to evade or ignore.
And want to find ways to age gracefully, accept where I am, who I am, and realize where I was and that I'm not there anymore, and embrace the stage of life that I am at.
This statement got her into more trouble with the elites, who were worried that the actress was attacking their business interests. It's no secret that big companies are behind the agenda to push plastic surgery on women in the entertainment industry. People in the industry are among the highest paid workers in the country, so they have the wherewithal to make certain decisions, such as needing plastic surgery. And who is best to provide such services and reap from the profits, aside from the elites? Thus, they've had to impress upon the industry players to get the surgery so they can make some money. This explains why they had to push that agenda. However, Halle Berry was having none of the BS. She thought that people should be allowed to age gracefully without the added pressure of trying to get plastic surgery. Since then, the elite intensified their attacks on the hapless Berry, allegedly threatening her life. Deep Throat sources indicate that the lady had to run from her home and hide in somewhere remote locations where he steps couldn't be traced. Now, if you're thinking that all these stories are made up, well, I'll have you know that Jaguar Wright spoke about a similar incident a few years ago. Y'all remember when Cat Williams exposed the Illuminati as the brain behind the worst crimes in the industry? Well, it turns out the group went after him, forcing him to wear body armor to bed. According to her, she was in Cat's house when the Illuminati broke into the house to end Cat, but he was smarter and evaded them before they could pounce on him.
Walking away was hard, but it was when the Illuminati first started coming after him. And I'll never forget the day when they breached the house.
And why would the Illuminati want to off Cat Williams? Well, it's because, like Halle Berry, he wouldn't bend to their whims and caprices. He always stood against them and exposed their shady dealings and sinister plots in Hollywood. Y'all remember his now famous interview with Shannon Sharpe on the club Shay Shay, when he revealed how the elites planted Kevin Hart into the industry. He has also revealed how Hollywood undermines prominent black actors by forcing them to wear a dress. He also exposed how those who don't wear the dress are treated vis-a-vis those who wear the dress. In the crowning moment of the interview, he predicted that this year was the year that all lies would be exposed and Big D deviants punished for their crimes.
All of these big deviants is all catching hell in 2024. It's up for all of them. It don't matter if you Diddy or whoever you is.
He mentioned Diddy, and y'all can testify that this year is one of the worst years in the life of the Bad Boy Records CEO. He had his 2 homes in Miami and Los Angeles raided, and several electronic items, including cameras and laptops, were seized from the premises. His sons were held and handcuffed at gunpoint while he and his daughters were on their way for a vacation. Now, I bring up all these things to show you how Cat exposed the industry and what happened to him because of his revelations, and to show you that the same thing happened to Halle Berry. Anyone who sees the light and tries to expose the dark deeds of the elite and brings them to public knowledge is often blackballed and, in worst scenarios, blacklisted. They find jobs hard to come by and are often ignored for interviews and big sponsorship deals, like what happened to Jim Carrey when he exposed the Illuminati on Jimmy Kimmel's show.
I'm here tonight to blow the lid off it, to be the whistleblower. I'm sick and tired of the secrets and the lies. It is the secret symbol of the Illuminati.
He told of how the Illuminati controlled every aspect of politics, sports, and entertainment. He also revealed how the secret society uses celebrities to control the narrative in the media. The Mask actor exposed the elusive group's agenda of distracting people from the bread and butter stuff by entertaining them. After that explosive interview, the comic actor found less work in the movie industry. He was hounded by the elites, forcing him to abandon the industry and seek solace in painting and other hidden talents he never knew he had. Ultimately, he took a break from acting and all media activities to recuperate because it was all taking a toll on him. It nearly broke him down, but fortunately, he recovered and got back to his acting best, starring in a couple of movies. This is what he had to say after his break.
At the edge of the envelope with the blue devil. It's uncomfortable.
It is.
Now, All these examples demonstrate that the elites don't deal kindly with anyone who exposes them and their shady dealings. They would use intimidation, threats, and violence to silence anyone who shines a light on their dark deeds. And if everything fails, they resort to assassination. Simply put, they would do anything and everything to conceal their identity and their evil plot. Fortunately, we have people like Halle and Mark Wahlberg, who have made it their life mission to lay bare the evil that thrives in the industry. However, they've had to suffer the consequences of their actions. In Wahlberg's case, he had to change his career completely to achieve the success that he wanted. Thankfully, he was multi-talented and could switch, but he couldn't say the same for his friend Halle Berry. If Berry lost her contracts in Hollywood, what talent would she turn to that would bring her the same level of success as her acting talent would? This isn't to suggest that Halle Berry isn't multi-talented, but even the singing part in her 1999 movie, Introducing Dorothy Dandridge, was performed by another singer, Wendy Williams.
I've got rhythm, I've got music.
Wendy Williams was part of an R&B group called For Real, but currently does background vocals for groups and solo artists. The formal story is that Halle Berry was set to perform the song herself in the movie, with Wendy Williams recruited to perform as background singer. However, as the shooting time approached, Berry couldn't get herself ready in time. Thus, the producers had to fall on Wendy to record the entire song, allowing Halle Berry to lip sync. Now, many people don't buy that excuse. In their opinion, Berry wasn't musically gifted enough to perform a Dandridge set. They thought that the excuse was just to save face. So, if Berry had lost her job in Hollywood, there would be nowhere to turn. Unlike Mark Wahlberg, she would have struggled to find success in another career, and this could have spelled doom for their mental health. It could even compound her overall health condition, as the actress is battling some underlying health problems.
Am I type 1 or type 2? I am actually considered type 2.
She had inherited diabetes from her parents through her grandmother and had been living with it since she was a child. She was recently wrongly diagnosed with herpes, only for the doctors to later realize that she had perimenopause. So, losing all her contracts in Hollywood without any other talent to fall back on would have cost her her life. This explains why Mark Wahlberg stood up for her and called out the elites for mistreating her. As we discussed earlier, Wahlberg himself has faced the brunt of the Illuminati's evil machinations. The actor had a troubled childhood when he got involved in racially motivated attacks on people around his age. A complaint was lodged against him, and he received a warning that if he ever got involved in a racially motivated attack again, he would be jailed. A few years later, he attacked a Vietnamese man, knocking him unconscious with a big stick. This time, he was arrested and eventually sentenced to 3 months in jail, for which he served only 45 days. The prison stint served as a lesson to him and changed his perceptions. Thus, he has tried to right the wrong since he got out.
I've been working for 27 years to right the wrongs that I've done and the mistakes that I've made as a child. And, you know, those are things that affected me deeply. Now, being a parent, being a role model, and trying to inspire inner city kids.
Now, this was a few years before he started doing music full-time. He managed to put his past behind him and forge a brighter future for himself. Soon, he formed the group Macky-Mack and the Funky Bunch, and they released their hit single Good Vibrations from their debut album, Music for the People. Good Vibrations became the #1 hit on the Billboard Hot 100 and became certified platinum. Their initial success enamored them to release their second LP, You Gotta Believe, but it wasn't as successful as the first. Around the time, he had run into trouble with the elite because, apparently, they were trying hard to get him to do some weird stuff for fame, but he wouldn't budge. According to some sources, the Illuminati proposed that Wahlberg get in bed with some of its members to secure his seat at the table, but he refused. He preferred to get there by dint of his sweat, blood, and tears, rather than getting everything handed down to him because he gave his derriere on a silver platter. He preferred to focus on good things rather than join one group to perpetrate evil.
We all know those things that are make us feel guilty, don't make us feel as good as we should. So being able to detach from those things and focus on, good habits as opposed to bad habits.
The second album had only one minor hit song, and that was it. It struggled to make it to the musical charts in several countries, with critics panning the entire album. However, that was only the beginning of Wahlberg's woes in music. In 1992, his music was banned because he had said something about Shabba Ranks, who had berated the gay community. Everyone was up in arms against the actor and called for all his endorsement deals to be canceled. The rapper-turned-actor lost a deal with Calvin Klein and other companies he was modeling for. Soon, his music was affected as people were discouraged from patronizing his music and or inviting him onto their show. To win the public back, Wahlberg released an autobiographical book to help clear up his name and expose his side of the story. But no one would give him a listening ear. The Illuminati's influence had gone far and wide, forcing Wahlberg to seek solace in faraway Germany, where he decided to revive his music career.
I had some opportunity to really come back in the music business with the best.
He signed with East West Records and was produced by Frank Peterson. The album catapulted Wahlberg to the top of the music charts, bringing him back into the limelight, albeit in Germany. He then went on to collaborate with the late reggae sensation Prince Ital Jones on the album Life in the Streets. In 1995, Mark Wahlberg released his hit song No Mercy in support of his friend Dariusz Mikulczewski, who was about to fight for a boxing title. Mark's profile was rising, and so was his music career. That same year, the rapper formed a group called One Love with him as the producer and often doubling as the lead singer. The group released their first song titled That's the Way I Like It, but it received little success. All this while, Wahlberg had tried his hands on acting and was featured in minor roles on TV, but his main passion was music. He ventured into acting the following year after the music industry blacklisted him and forced him to relocate to Germany. He first starred in the television film The Substitute in 1993, and it only took him a year to make his big screen debut in 1994's Renaissance Man with Danny DeVito.
I ain't no double D, homeboy. Just speak for your damn self.
The comedy film didn't perform well at the box office but announced Mark Wahlberg's arrival. It was heavily panned by the critics and made $20 million on a $40 million movie. Mark acted alongside Leonardo DiCaprio in the 1995 movie Basketball Diaries, where he caught the eyes of producers. However, it wasn't until 1996 when he had his starring role in the psychological thriller Fear. Mark's acting prowess was getting noticed, and by 2000 he had become a household name with the movies Boogie Nights, Three Kings, and Perfect Storm. Between 2000 and 2003, the actor rose through the ranks to become an A-lister, with films such as Planet of the Apes, The Truth About Charlie, and The Italian Job. Mark's star continued to rise in Hollywood until 2012, when his comment generated a media storm that nearly plummeted his rise to fame. Mark had narrowly escaped the September 9th 11 attacks when he canceled his reservation on American Airlines Flight 11, which crashed into the World Trade Center in 2011. During the interview the following year, Wahlberg said, "If I was on that plane with my kids, it wouldn't have went down like it did." He added that there would have been a lot of blood in that first-class cabin, and then me saying, "Okay, we're going to land somewhere safely. Don't worry." Many of the families who lost dear ones during that tragedy expressed outrage at Mark's words. They criticized the actor for selling his Hollywood persona on the back of the demise of their loved ones. Commentators like Joe Rogan blasted him for thinking that he could fight real-life because he had acted in movies with actors pretending to be.
Isn't that what Mark Wahlberg said if he was on the plane? It wouldn't land down?
Spy versus.
Did he really say that though?
Yeah.
That's what everybody says.
I don't know.
I never heard him say that.
It's
Did
a
he say
funny
that? Is that what
thing
he
to
said?
think.
It's a crazy thing to think.
Soon, Mark's profile went down as the elites took advantage of his mishap to drive public sentiments against him. Before long, everyone was calling for his head and to boycott all the movies he had starred in. They also petitioned studios to cancel any contract with him because he had offended the fans' sentiments. However, little did fans know that behind all that uproar and brouhaha was the ever-elusive Illuminati trying to down Mark's shine for always exposing their activities. The actor received fewer casting calls and fewer advertisement deals, as fewer people wanted to associate with him or do business with him. For a few years, the actor was out of the limelight as the media shunned his company and didn't want to talk to him. Fortunately, he bounced back stronger, but not without suffering the consequences of exposing the elites. Knowing how evil and vindictive the system can be, Mark Wahlberg is always looking out for his friends. He knows that the slightest misstep and the industry would swallow anyone whole, especially those who've made it their business to reveal its dirty secrets. This explains why he's purportedly fighting for his friend Halle, because she is also in the company of exposing their shady plans. Hopefully, the two of them would help to clear up the mess that has engulfed Hollywood. And this brings us to the end of today's video. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.